Thank you very much, sir. American citizen. Business or pleasure, Mr. Carson?
Pleasure. Sheer pleasure, sir. I have the honor of being in your lovely country because this is Robert's great year.
Robert?
Only the brightest scholar Oxford ever saw. And to crown it all, he's going to be rowing at your Henley with all your earls and dukes and all your aristocracy. Yes, sir, that's why I'm standing here right in front of you today.
I hope you have a very pleasant stay. Thank you, Mr. Carson. Purpose of your visit, madam?
I'm going to visit my husband's grave at the war cemetery.
Well, the sights of London look as grey and dismal as I remember them.
And you're here on really big business then, are you, Art?
Enough to justify the trip. But who's paying? It's 7 days and the boat had made enough from poker for a trip around the world.
For Pete's sake! Sorry, Art, I couldn't help it. I just had a shock. Reader. There he is, just walking along. I'll have to stop for 5 minutes and collect myself. I can't drive in the present state.
Reader?
There, Mr. J.G. Reader, looking in that bookshop. I ain't going past him.
Him?
Him?
You mean the old guy with the side whiskers, the grey side whiskers? He's the one you're afraid of? He's the great J.G. Reader I've heard of?
Well, I know he doesn't look much, but he's going inside. Come on, let's get going.
No, I want a closer look at this guy.
Oh, no, Art. Don't tangle with Reader. Don't go out your way to meet trouble, eh?
He's trouble. The guy can't even see straight. Didn't you see him fall over the step? He couldn't catch a cold. That's the reason he stopped so suddenly and nearly bust my arm. Back home in Toronto, the Canadian police would leave him standing, and that's the best thing I ever said about them.
Look, let's get going before he comes out again.
Look, I'll tell the world you guys need waking up if that's your great J.G. Reader. I say, does he pocket clock?
Oh, does he wear a watch? Yeah, pocket one. No, Art, look,
Wait,
don't go.
I'll bring it back to you in 5 minutes. I'll show you guys something.
Can I help you, sir? Yes. I'm looking for Hallicott's Use of Botanical Poisons in Homicide, published by Harcourt and Williams in Edinburgh in 1873.
If you'd care to browse in our Poisons and Homicide section, sir, I'll look it up in the catalogue.
Sure.
Yes, sir?
I'd just like a little look around, if you don't mind.
Do help yourself, sir.
Oh, I'm so sorry, sir. I do beg your pardon.
Not at all. My watch is 5 minutes fast. You can see the correct time by Big Ben.
Well, now, isn't that the most extraordinary thing?
Over here
you
for
ever-
long?
Why, yes.
Ah, it's a nice time of the year, but the country is not quite so beautiful as Canada in the fall. How is Leone?
Leone.
The proprietor of that little restaurant, Buffalo. Is it still the advanced base of your operations, Mr. Loma? Where you plan those campaigns that are so profitable to yourself and your friends? And the troupe. Are they performing in London or are they resting? I believe that is a word. I trust so very well. Their activities over the years have given me many absorbing hours of contemplation. Well, I do hope you have a very pleasant stay in England. This seems a most comprehensive volume. I will take it.
Right.
Take me to the Carlport Hotel, Bloomsbury.
Did you get his watch?
No, he got away before I could touch him. Well, come on, let's get moving. We'll get some eats. It's nearly 12 o'clock.
You stole it? My senior investigator, and you stole a watch? And as if that isn't enough, you write me a report about it? Have you gone completely mad? I put it to you as Director of Public Prosecutions. I have enough evidence there to put you in the dock. You actually admit that you stole a watch from a man in a bookshop. Really, Rita, this time you've gone too far. Now, take it back and say the whole thing was a mistake. Well, I don't care what you say, what you do, as long as you turn that watch to the man you stole it from.
If I might just continue, sir, this watch does not, in fact, belong to Mr. Loma.
Oh, I knew it would be a labyrinth. I knew it would be tortuous coming from you. Very well, Rita. Tell me about the gentleman. Tell me about this Mr. Art Loma. Is there anything against him apart from the insignificant illegal entry?
No, sir, there is no complaint here.
Well, I'm certainly not assigning my senior investigator to a pettifogging inquiry as to whether a man did or did not enter this country illegally. It is beneath you and the salary paid to you by the Crown.
Oh, I agree, sir.
I see you say here in your report, estimated time for completion of inquiry 7 days. Really, Reader, first you steal the man's watch, then you use him as an excuse to delay your routine paperwork for a week. You must have an early night time. I'm getting past it.
I beg your pardon, sir.
Just tell me why I should give you permission to neglect the inquiries that you have on hand in order to go off on a wild goose chase after this Mr. Art Loma. Facts, Reader, facts.
Well, sir, this watch which has just come into my possession, I find by reference to my private file was stolen in Cleveland 5 years ago. Cleveland, Ohio, America.
Oh, well, that's all right. Tell the people at the yard it doesn't belong to us.
But he has a speciality, sir.
Oh, yeah?
He is a troop leader, I think that is a term. Mr. Loma was once attached to a theatrical company in a humble capacity.
You mean the fellow was an actor?
Yes, producer rather than actor. So I've never seen the troupe. I've heard many fine reports of their thing, of how they behave. But what interested me about my encounter with Mr. Loma this morning was that he was alone. An art never travels without his troupe. The invisibility of the troupe was a matter to me of grave suspicion.
I don't quite follow you about the troupe. Yes. I wonder if that new yeast would buck me up. I've heard many good things about it. Yes, I've heard a lot better things about brandy. There. Reader, that report, the watch-stealing business. Why? Eh?
Just a little jest, sir, a little jest.
You can be heavily jocular on occasion, Reader. Let me give you a little advice. Avoid humour. It is not your forte. So, this Mr. Loma attempted to dip your watch and you dipped his dip. Is that the correct expression? You are so much more familiar with the criminal slang.
Dip is the appropriate expression, sir.
I still do not see why Mr. Loma's presence here in London warrants your attention. He could be here on holiday visiting relatives.
But the car he used was driven by a Mr. Sparrow, known as Cheap to his friends. Now, Cheap, I admit, is a minor criminal,
No,
but nevertheless...
Reader, I give in. You may have 1 week.
Thank you, Sir Jason.
Very well, Reader. I defer to your criminal mind. Thank God my mind doesn't work like that. I should find an acute embarrassment in polite society.
But I so rarely move in polite society, sir. Car was driven by a Mr. Archie Sparrow, known as Cheap Sparrow. Cheap, Sergeant. Cheap, cheap. The sound a sparrow makes. No, he's not one of Mr. Loma's troupe. Just the London guide to all visiting criminals. So, follow Cheap, and he will lead us to Mr. Loma. Thank you, Sergeant. Goodbye.
Rita, I'm going home. The day has taken too much out of me.
Very good, sir.
This Loma, does he have a record?
Oh, yes, sir. Didn't I tell you how to miss me? He has done 5 years in Canada for robbery with violence. When he came out, he avoided further violence and confined himself to the formation of his troupe. He is quite a big operator in Canada and the United States.
Yes, well, unless you start something big here, I'd prefer to remain uninformed. I still have the feeling that your inquiry will prove a total waste of public money.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, my man.
Help yourself, Chief. Don't wait for me.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Art. You and I've done well, Art. Bit different from the old days when we shared a room in Stepney. This dinner, this place must have cost a fortune.
Oh, you... Chief, I've learned one thing in the past 10 years. You gotta speculate to accumulate.
Of course, I always knew you'd do well, but not this well. That watch, £100, and you didn't even try and find your old one. We could have had a look in the road where you dropped it, but no, you go straight out and buy a new one.
I was bored with it. Whoever picked it up is welcome to it. Open the champagne.
Yeah. Mind you, 11 years ago, you always did think big. Do you remember those days when we used to pull them little jobs together? I knew then it'd happen to you sooner or later, the big one.
I often think very fondly of those times. That summer when we did our window cleaning act, oh, great days. And the most we ever got out of it was £20 a week.
Well, I did get a bit more. I did get 2 years in the nick.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was unfortunate. But when I knocked on that door and got no reply, how was I to know the guy was a deaf wrestler? Still, I've always had a very soft spot for you, Cheap. Particularly the way you kept your mouth shut.
Well, I knew you'd look after me, see, and you did. I've had some very nice little Christmas presents off you over the years.
Nah, think nothing of it. Come in.
Well, pardon me, Mr. Loma.
That's right. Come in. What can I do for you?
Sorry to disturb your luncheon, sir, but my name's Beckett, house detective, and I'm here, regrettably, to give you a warning.
What?
Most unfortunate matter, sir, and the management tender their sincere regrets at having to bring the matter to your attention. It appears that a criminal person is frequenting this hotel with the object of swindling money out of people. I can quite understand you looking so aghast, sir. It's a most embarrassing state of affairs, especially in a hotel of this caliber. I can't apologize to you enough, sir.
Oh, but I'm very grateful for the warning. I didn't know.
Of course you didn't, sir. I'm most embarrassed at having to bring it to your attention. If you do and are approached by a person in the public rooms asking you to invest in the Dodo Egg Mining Company, sir, I'd be most grateful if you'd inform me at once. The gentleman is a confidence trickster, and seeing somebody like yourself, sir, a person of obvious substance, if I may say so, he could well make you an overture.
A confidence trickster? You mean one of those guys who tries to get money out of people under false pretenses?
I'm afraid so, sir. And when I saw you last night at the bar, sir, buying everybody drinks, I said to myself, a generous, warm-hearted person like that, the perfect target for this despicable person.
Oh, well, I'm very, very much obliged to you, and I shall certainly heed your warning.
Very kind of you, sir. And I do apologize once again, sir.
Oh, no, not at all. The Dodo Egg Corporation.
Bernie the gent.
He's at it again. Come in.
Just arrived, sir, by a special messenger from Mr. Staffan.
Mr. Staffan.
Thank you, sir.
Hot dog! The fish is bitten! I want a dignified estate agent.
Willoughby's in Curzon Street. I'll take it straight there, Art.
Let's go.
According to the statement of the complainant, it appears that the man entered her railway carriage at Banbury and, seeing himself alone with her, immediately struck up a conversation which bore lascivious undertones. Yes. Where were we, Miss Pantile?
Lascivious undertones, sir.
Yes. Shocking, yes. molesting a young and innocent girl in her railway carriage. What a bounder. Well, there would appear to be a clear prima facie case against the man concerned. It is the permanent swerving policy of this office to protect unaccompanied females going about their legitimate business. I therefore have no hesitation in advising the Chief Constable to institute proceedings.
Oh, that's Mr. Weeder, sir.
Oh.
I must give him an urgent envelope that came from... Oh, do excuse me, Sir Jason. Something came for you, Mr. Weeder. Sergeant Alfred brought it, said you had to have it urgently.
Oh, thank you, Miss Fantow. Oh, yes, it's from the estate agents. Thank you. Don't let me keep you, Miss Fantow.
Oh, no, Mr. Weeder. Quite all right. Anything I can help you with? Ooh, looking for a house to let, are you?
Ah, that's very interesting. There's a house here, Riverside Bower, which is not available at the moment. Now, who would want to rent a riverside cottage in November, Miss Fantow?
Be a bit damp, wouldn't it? I always think November is the worst month of the year. All that rain and the river. Unless you like fishing, of course, Mr. Weeder.
Yes. Mayfair 1620, please.
Miss Fantow, I need...
Coming, Sir Jason.
Oh, good afternoon. My name is Curtis. My messenger has just collected your list of rentable properties. Yes, unfortunately, the one property that does interest me is Riverside Bower. And it appears to be let. To an American gentleman. But only for a month. Oh, yes. I will contact you later. Thank you. Goodbye.
Loma here. Who? Good. Ask Mr. Staffen to step right up.
Please come this way, sir.
Reader here? Oh, yes, Sergeant. Bertie Claude Staffen. Oh, that is very rewarding. I'm sorry you've had such a long wait. I'll be right over. Oh, tell me.
Reader, I've just received a memorandum from the Home Secretary asking me if we have any information about these Bolshevik agitators. I intend to reply that I'm putting my senior sleuth, Mr. J.G. Reader, onto the investigation. You therefore have only one more day in which to produce some evidence to justify your continuing inquiries into the habits and whereabouts of Mr. Art Loma.
But I have found out the reason for Mr. Loma's visit to England, sir. Bertie Claude Staffen.
Staffen?
His father was rather better known. He made £6 million out of making cups and saucers and left them all to his son, Bertie. Bertie is rich beyond the dreams of...
actresses? Yes, just one more day, Reader.
Yes. Very good, sir.
It's wonderful to see you again, Mr. Staffen.
I think you know, and it's unnecessary for me to remind you that although I expressed interest in your mine, I don't intend to speculate $1 on the project. I'm putting up no money.
Mr. Staffen, I wouldn't come over here trying to get money from a gentleman who's practically a stranger. Well, sure, we met socially, but what do you know about me? I might be all kinds of a crook. I might be a confidence trickster or anything.
I flatter myself I know men. If I haven't shown that in my book of poetry, Homo Sum, then I've failed in expression.
Sure. That's a great book. Homo Sum. You know, when you gave it to me in the King Edward Hotel in Toronto, I thought it was something about arithmetic. Oh, but that's mighty good poetry. I mean, every line starting with big letters and the end of every line sounded like the N-word of the line before. You know, I said to my secretary, that Mr. Stafford, he's got a brain.
Oh.
How you thinking that beats me? That one about the princess that came out of a clam?
An oyster. She was the embodiment of the pearl. The white maiden. Ah, there we are.
Oh, sure, yeah. That was just great. You know, I'd never read poetry till I read that. It just made me want to bust out crying. You know, if I had a gift like yours, I wouldn't be loafing around Ontario prospecting. No, sir.
Oh, well, it is a gift. You say you have the money for the company?
Every cent. I'm not in a position to sell you a single share. No, sir. I didn't intend you to put up 1 red cent.
Oh, thank you.
You've been pretty nice to me, Mr. Staffen. And although I don't feel called upon to tell every man my business, I have sort of confidence in you. This mine means nothing to me.
No?
Oh, sir. If you knew my real business here, it would make your hair stand on end. You're one whale of a poet, Mr. Staffen. Maybe it's because you got more imagination than anyone else. What does this mine mean to me? Just a few $100,000 profit? What are you doing on Wednesday?
Wednesday, I don't think I'm doing anything on Wednesday.
Come down and spend the night with me. I got a house near the river. And I'll let you in on a secret that the newspapers would give $1 million to know. You wouldn't believe it if you read it in a book. Say, maybe you could write it someday. It'd need someone with your imagination to put it over. Say, I'll tell you now. Politics and all that, I know nothing about. But I do know that some of the royalty that were kicked out of Europe are beginning to feel the pinch. No names. About 6 months ago, I was staying on a farm on the Canadian border when some of them turned up. And what do you think they were doing?
Oh,
Peddling emeralds.
Emeralds?
Uh-huh.
Peddling? What do you mean? Trying to sell emeralds?
Yes, sir. One of them had a paper bag full of them. All sizes. I bought the lot for $12,000, took them down to Toronto, and had them valued at $1 million. These guys had been selling jewelry for the past 4 years. Some broken-down prince was acting as agent for the rest. I didn't ask many questions because, naturally, I'm not inquisitive. The stuff I bought was only 1/20th of their stock. I sent them back for the rest of the loot, and now they're due here next week.
$20 million.
Uh-huh.
What will it cost you?
$1 million. Come down to my place at Marlow, Riverside Bower. And I'll show you the best emeralds you ever saw. All I got left, as a matter of fact. I sold the rest to a Pittsburgh millionaire for... Oh, I'm not going to tell you the price because you think I robbed him. If you see one you like, why, I'll let you buy it. And naturally, I wouldn't want to make a profit out of a friend.
No, reader, I am not kindly disposed to the idea. I am not disposed to allow you another 3 days to go gallivanting off into the country after Mr. Art Lomer. Where is the evidence? For a week now, 4 police officers have been watching Mr. Art Lomer night and day. Oh, thank you, Miss Reptile. For a whole week, you have been investigating this Art Lomer, and still you have no information to justify your theory that he is here for any illegal purpose, and yet your desk is crammed with cases which demand investigation. Cases where we know a crime has been committed.
But I have discovered that Mr. Stafford has cancelled all his business appointments for next Wednesday. He can only be going tomorrow. Mr. Artlomer is already there. He left his hotel this morning.
Evidence? What evidence have you to justify this wild goose chase?
Well, just a feeling, sir, and I only need till Wednesday.
Have you any evidence?
Well, how can I put it, sir? No.
We have 2 cases of arson, 1 case of sabotage, a series of felonies committed by a known gang in Clapham, an alleged rapist in Haywards Heath, 4 unexplained acts of anarchy. You can have till Wednesday.
No, Mr. Reader, I'm not having it. Your behaviour makes a mockery of my job. As your housekeeper, I've given you 2 years of unstinting care and attention. Cheese sandwiches, black pudding. Last May, when you had the whooping cough, I was up all night with the steam kettle. Did I mind? No, because you couldn't help it. But this mad picnic of yours in the middle of November with the rain blattering down outside, that's something you can help. You know you've a weak chest. You're just asking for trouble. Tea in the flask, milk in the separate bottle. No other woman would stand for this, you know, Mr. Reader. I'm only standing for it because I'm paid to act as your housekeeper. But I'm not going to tolerate your irresponsible behavior much longer. Here is a hot water bottle. You may be able to warm your fingers with it a little when you get there. And if you come back with the influenza, don't come crying to me. Don't say I didn't warn you.
Good afternoon, sir.
Oh, my name's Stafford.
Yes, sir. Mr. Lomer is in the orchard. I'll call him for you, sir. Thomas, take Mr. Stephen's coat. Sir. I trust you enjoyed the pleasant journey from London, sir.
Not too bad, not too bad.
Quite an autumnal nip in the air, isn't there, sir?
Yes.
Thank you, Thomas. Now, Mr. Stephen's luggage. This is the sitting room, sir. I will tell Mr. Lomer at once.
Thank you. Whoops, hold on.
Oh, sir. So sorry, I didn't realise. Sorry, sir.
Not at all. Not at all.
I do beg your pardon, sir.
Well, I never.
Well, well. Well. You didn't bring good weather with you. Do you think it's going to rain again or not?
Oh, you can never tell in November. Pretty beastly month for a cottage on the river, isn't it?
Well, with your English climate, when is a good month for a riverside bungalow? But I like this place. It has the right kind of lonesomeness. I hate being looked over. Well, how about a scotch to revive your flagging spirits?
Oh, first class. You certainly do yourself well here, Loma.
Oh, we do our humble best.
Thanks. Chin-chin.
What?
Your health.
Oh, and yours.
You rang, sir.
Get Tommy to bring in some more logs, Jenkins.
Yes, sir.
Well, what do you know? It started again.
I must say, Loma, it's a very cozy little place you have here.
Thank you.
Did you buy it a long time ago?
No. I don't own it. No, I merely hire it when I'm in England. Jenkins the butler is my man. So is the valet. The maid comes from London. Well, what can I offer you for tea, Mr. Staffen? You can have smoked salmon, caviar, pate, gatto.
Well.
And though the Yukon covers 20,000 square miles, the population only runs to a few thousand. Most of them are occupied with mining, but some of them do go in for trapping. I remember when I was up north...
Acceptable tea, Loma.
Oh, good. Glad you enjoyed it.
Do you think I could see the emeralds now?
Of course. I'm so sorry. You let me ramble on about Canada. Here we are. You can have any one of them that you like. Make me an offer, and I'll tell you what it's worth. That one? That's worth about $6,000. But if you were to offer me that sum of money for it, I'd say you were a fool. Because the only way to get emeralds is to get them at least 50% on the value. That one cost me £90. But is it genuine, you're asking yourself?
Yes, I have asked myself already. I'm something of an expert on emeralds. Oh, yes. It's the genuine article.
Uh-huh.
You wouldn't like to sell it for £90?
Oh, no, sir. No, sir. I have to make a profit even out of a friend. I'll let you have it for, £100. Oh, it's all right. You needn't pay me yet. You may know all about emeralds, but how do you know that this isn't a very clever fake? Here, take it up to town and show it to an expert jeweler.
Oh, I'll give you the check now.
Oh, there's no hurry. What am I going to do with that? You see, I got no bank account. All my money is with the Associated Express Company.
Oh, I'll make it pay bearer.
Bearer? Well, wouldn't it be an idea if you wrote a little note to the president or whoever he is and ask him to cash that little bit of paper?
Oh, certainly.
I hate banks anyway.
Look, Loma, can I come in on the $1 million deal?
I'm so sorry, Mr. Staffen, but that'd be almost impossible.
Oh, but why?
Look, I'd be perfectly frank with you because I believe in straight dealing. When you asked to come in on that transaction, you're just asking me for money.
Oh, no, Mr. Lowe,
I know it's a very mean way of putting it, but that's what it amounts to. I've taken all the risk. I organized the operation, and it's cost money.
Well, perhaps
I
could,
hate refusing you, Mr. Staffen, because I like you. Oh, well, maybe if there's a little piece that takes your fancy, I'll let you have it at a reasonable price.
Look. What's the deal cost you up to now?
It doesn't matter how much it's cost me. If you were to offer me 4 times the amount I've spent, and believe me, that'd be a considerable sum, I just couldn't let you in on this deal.
But I say, look here.
Oh, all right. I might go so far as to let you have a small interest, but I wouldn't take money for that.
Oh, well, that's fine. Fine. We'll Talk about it later, huh?
Fine, fine. Oh, it's clearing up. Would you like a stroll around the garden, Mr. Staffen?
By all means, Mr. Lower. The autumn roses will smell delicious after the rain.
What's the matter? Well, I was just wondering. Well, they said next week. Oh, no, I must be mistaken. It must be someone else. Come on, let's go in.
Something wrong, old man?
Oh, nothing. No, nothing at all. Care for a drink?
Thanks. Look, perhaps you'd like me to go.
Oh, no, Mr. Staffen. No. No, thank you.
You seem so quiet. I thought maybe my presence...
Oh, no. It has nothing to do with you, Mr. Staffen.
I do hope I haven't said something to offend you.
No. It's purely a private matter. I'm sorry to be so bad-mannered as to allow my irritation to show.
One moment. A lady and two men, you
Show me. Marsham, what's the big idea? A friend.
There's been some trouble, old boy, and the prince has had another offer. No,
What?
he sent some of the stuff, but he won't part with the pearls or the diamonds until you pay him half the money you promised him. This is the Princess Pauline, the prince's daughter.
Now look here, miss. I suppose you speak English. Well, this is not the way we do business in our country. Your father promised me...
My father, he has taken too much risk, indeed too much so. It is easy for you to pay the money if he has it tonight.
Tonight? Well, how can I get the money tonight?
He is in Holland. We have the aeroplane waiting.
Well, how can I get the money tonight? Do you think I carry £100,000 around in my pistol pocket?
Here.
Astrodek, Salon, the Boulevard, Chesko Lavansky,
Lemako Savinsky Jabarov, Nieta Bulgakos.
Beronokoviv, Bietso Anya, Peter, he says my father will take a check as long as there is no, Bulgakos, huh?
Niet Bulgakos.
Did I ever double-cross your father? I can't get you the money or the check. The deal's off. I'm through. No dice. Take it away.
If you can keep these people here tonight, I'll undertake to raise all the money you want on that collection alone.
It's no use, Mr. Staffen. I know this guy. If we don't get the money tonight, we won't smell that stuff. Hey, that's an idea. You've got your checkbook.
Oh, yes, I've got my checkbook, certainly, but...
Come with me. That check can't be presented for 2 or 3 days. It certainly couldn't be presented tomorrow. You can take the stuff up to your bank in London and keep it there until I redeem it. Moreover, if the stuff isn't worth the money, you can cancel the check tomorrow morning.
Right. Suppose I give him a post-dated check to make sure.
Sure. That's double protection. Make it the day after tomorrow. And make it bearer, same as the other check.
Yes.
£100,000.
£100,000. There we are.
Wait a second.
Yes, Mr. Shakespeare.
They've taken it! Boy, and I didn't want you to come in on this deal. From now on, it's 50-50. Come with me, and I'll show you something I never intended to show a soul. Yes, but... Hey, coming, Bertie.
Where are you?
I'm here. Come on.
What is it?
Have you ever seen anything like that before in your life?
I don't quite see what you... Help! I say! What's all this?
I say, I think you'll find out in a day or two. To us. I have here a letter to this guy's bank manager asking him to cash the enclosed check for his good friend, Mr. Arthur Lomer.
Well done,
You've done it again, Art. Has the plane gone back?
Yeah, I only hired it for the afternoon.
Yeah, well, you better go back with it.
Right.
I say, is this a joke?
Has he got food and water, our friend?
Oh, he's well off.
He's got enough for a week.
And by that time, the check will be validated. Ray and Al, you go to Paris, take the boat from Leon.
Okay, boss.
Slicky, you go honest from Liverpool, take Tommy with you. Where is Tommy?
Present, sir. Just getting water to douse the fire.
Oh, mind that, love. It'll go all over me.
Later, Tommy.
Yeah, he's a good boy, Tommy. We don't want the house to go on fire with Bertie in it. We don't want to hurt him, just his bank account. You go with Slicky, Tommy.
Oh, Bertie looked more intelligent than I expected. When I walked in, Art, I thought for a moment you weren't going to get him.
Get Bertie, Claude, Steph, and he was easy. Oh, Slicky, that's the best performance you've ever given. The expression on your face when you found the maid had left her duster behind.
Oh, you are kind, sir.
I'm delighted with you all. It's the smoothest job we ever pulled.
Yeah.
Don't forget to take the side whiskers off.
Oh, God, by now.
Let me, darling. It's a pity they make you look so distinguished.
Pauline and Aggie will make Genoa, and we'll meet on the 14th in Leone's, and I'll split the stuff all ways. Any questions?
Yes, I think £100,000 is too much for you to carry through customs on your own.
Ah, come on. I've done it before.
Not that much.
I think he's right. I mean, why should Art take all the risk? There might be bad luck.
Is that your instinct talking?
Yeah, I think we should all take some. Then go to Leone's, pool it, then we should share it out in the usual proportions.
Slicky's a pessimist and his judgment is often confused, but I won't fight your instinct. We'll meet at my hotel in 3 days' time. Be there, all of you, at 9 p.m. sharp, and I'll share out the takings. We'll disperse at 9:15 and go our various ways. In the meantime, lose yourselves in London. Our pleasure.
Can I have a lift to the station?
I'll take you to the station, and then you go in a separate compartment as usual. Douse the fire, Tommy. Al, check we left nothing, and Ray, check Al. Come on, let's get moving.
Oh, will you have time? Come on, speed.
I say. Bloody old flies again.
That's
all clear. All right.
Fire out.
Good.
Oh, nearly forgot that.
No, you don't. No boozing on duty.
Come on, goons. Hurry up.
I say, you do know I'm here.
Get out of this, Tommy. Oh, come on, now, Ray. Come on, keep it moving.
There's a gentleman called Mr. Lomer to see you, sir. He is a friend of Mr. Staffen.
Show him in.
Sir. This way, Mr. Lomer.
Art Lomer. Delighted to make your acquaintance, Mr. Soames.
And you, Mr. Lomer. Now, won't you please sit down?
Thank you very much. I won't take up much of your precious time.
Oh, it's a pleasure to meet a friend of Mr. Staffen, sir.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm afraid it's for a mighty big sum.
Oh, we do cash some fairly large checks here, you know, sir. Yes, well, yes, of course. And how would you like it, sir?
In dollars.
In dollars, certainly, sir. The gentleman would like this in American currency, if you please.
Yes.
Now, sir, how about a glass of sherry while you're waiting?
Oh, thank you very much, Mr. Soames. That's very hospitable of you.
And tell me, how did you leave Mr. Staffen?
Oh, why, Bertie and I have just been in Paris over my new business. And as I said to Bertie last summer, when I showed him the mine, I said, it's just too good to be true. And then came the assay. It had the most tremendous deposit of quartz you've ever...
In front of the gentleman, please.
Thank you. And that's how it all started.
Yes. Thank you. Well, of course, Canada is one of the few places where such lucky finds can still be made. They tell me it's still the most exciting country for a pioneer.
Oh, it's wide open, Mr. Soames, wide open!
1 moment, sir.
I beg your pardon?
I think you should check that first, sir.
Oh, sir. The day I check money given me by an English bank is the day I stop trading.
Well, it is really most gratifying to hear, sir. I am sure that Mr. Staffen won't go wrong doing business with such a trusting gentleman. Were you able to see any of our sights while you were over here, sir?
Oh, sure, Mr. Soames. I saw Buckingham Palace, Westminster Abbey, Piccadilly Square. Oh, it's been one of the most fruitful and rewarding trips I've ever made, you know.
I'm afraid our weather wasn't too kind to you.
Oh, I've had a swell time, and as for the weather, I knew I was in for coming to England in November. Oh, I've had a real good time in the old country. Well, thank you for your hospitality and kindness, Mr. Soames.
Good day, sir.
Good day, Mr. Soames.
He's never been late before. What's the time?
9:30. You asked me a minute ago when it was 9:29 and 9:28.
I've aged 10 years in the past 10 minutes.
We should have cleared out of England when Art said. The only mistakes Art ever makes is when he listens to your instinct.
Oh, shut up, Aggie. You know the way things are between Art and Pauline. Well, man's got to listen to the woman he... Well, anyway, I wish I was on my way to Paris.
Stop pacing. Stop pacing.
Oh, all right.
I got my ticket already. Boat leaves Liverpool midnight tonight.
And we'll all be on it, Tommy lad. We'll be dining on board tonight.
I can see.
Have you been on?
Come on.
I know, the bank manager was a chatterbox.
Come on then, now.
You weren't worried, were you?
Lovely lolly. We'll be dining on board. Come on, done. All right.
Payday for the troupe, Mr. Lomer? Or do you call it treasury? My theatrical glossary is rather rusty.
Oh, well, it really is mighty good to see you again, Mr. Reader, but we're rather busy just now.
Tell me, what do you think has happened to our dear friend Bertie Claude Staffen?
Why, he's in Paris.
So soon? And the police only took him out of your cellar an hour ago, where he has just spent 3 rather uncomfortable days.
Bleeding bodies! Easy, fellas. Easy, fellas. You're mine.
And we seem to be a little short. Dear me, we are short. I wonder if any of you ladies and gentlemen help me account for the discrepancy.
No.
Just watch what you're doing. Thank you. And the ladies? If you... Oh, dear me. I do beg your pardon. I do, sure. I've never dreamt about it. I've no wish to embarrass at all. No wish. Thank you very much. Thank you.
That guy's a thief! He stole my watch!
And I have dispatched it to its rightful owner, Mr. Lomer. You won't miss it. I fear it would be no kindness to let you count the hours where you are going.
Take it easy, will you? Come on. Chip!